People are calling this incident Nirbhaya 2.0. This is not second, but thousandth reminder of how our Indian constitution and systems are dying with every tragic loss of life like this. The way things are unfolding reminds me very much of Shakespeare's quote, "Hell is empty because all the devils are here." Imagine such devils occupying responsible government positions that actually require morality and accountability. The result is destruction, which we are witnessing now. Be it a chief minister or a police commissioner or the principal administrator of one of the oldest medical colleges or civic police volunteer. You will see how all these people misused their positions and how our systems really failed in preventing this. Let us talk about the first responders, the police, who are the first to arrive at the crime scene with a responsibility to preserve the crime scene without losing any evidence. A corrupt police officer who is tampering with the evidence and covering up the crime is not only failing himself but also failing the judiciary and questioning the law and order of the country. Kolkata Police Commissioner. This IPS officer is an alumnus of IIT Kharagpur and IIT Kanpur. Has all his knowledge been simply overpowered by political influence? The police department did not clarify on the recruitment process for civic police volunteers. The accused, Sanjay Roy, is a civic police volunteer. His character is so malicious that his own mother and sisters called him a disgrace to their family and declared that they would not even collect his dead body even if he is hung. Imagine such a monster in drunken state walking into the hospital with full access to vulnerable women. Sanjay Roy was recruited as a civic police volunteer in 2019. Imagine what all he could have done in the last 5 years under the name of police volunteer with a police sticker on his motorbike. According to West Bengal Chief Minister's office, over 1 lakh civic police volunteers are recruited recently. What is the criteria for recruitment? How many Sanjay Roys have been recruited who are hunting for their next victim? Another despicable character in this episode is the principal of RG Kar, who got his medical degree from the same college. The place which gave him every opportunity in his life, he actually transformed that place from the oldest prestigious medical college to now a drug and sex racketing place. This principal is accused of rampant corruption at this place, taking commissions for every single project, misusing the dead bodies for illegal purposes, and even forcing money from students in exchange for good grades. Under his mafia, people like the accused Sanjay Roy flourished as brokers collecting bribes from patients for every service that the hospital has to offer. Even more disgusting is the way this principal handled this crime. Being a senior orthopedic surgeon and looking at the bruises on the victim's body, how can he allow reporting this death as suicide to the victim's parents? And why was the crime not reported to police and parents until 4 hours after the body was first discovered? On top of this principal could not hide his true colors. He passed a comment blatantly shaming the victim, saying that she should not have slept alone in the seminar room that night. And within 3 days after this crime, he resigned, claiming moral responsibility, but shockingly accepted his new position as principal of another medical college within 8 hours of resignation. Despite all these red flags, the police did not even take this principal into custody because of his close links with the most influential person. Mamata Banerjee once dragged a Samajwadi MP by collar in Lok Sabha as he opposed the Women's Reservation Bill. Back then, she endured abuse, bruises, and even did historic 26 days fast unto death strike, fighting for justice for over 300 women who were raped and molested. She was a true Kali Mata avatar back then. But now, being the chief minister for 13 years with home and health ministries under her wing, she does not have an iota of morality left in her to ensure justice for a single woman. This is why they say power tends to corrupt, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. So what should we do? Should we just protest on the streets? Or should we just shout out loud but then forget after a few days? Or should we actually bring change in the systems which are constantly failing? If we look at the budget for women's safety this year, it is increased by 3.5 times when compared to last year. But if you look at the budget allocation versus the budget spent, the women's safety funds are actually being diverted to other departments. The funds allocated for Nirbhaya and women's safety must be used for women's safety and women's safety alone. She Teams. She Teams is a groundbreaking initiative introduced by Telangana government in 2014 to enhance safety of women. She Teams must be expanded throughout India. She Teams must be made autonomous with same privileges as that of police, must be adequately staffed, trained and budgeted to be able to take end-to-end responsibility in handling crimes against women. This means that they will be the first ones to receive a call and work through their way until the case is closed. But why do we need She Teams? When compared to the existing traditional police setup, She Teams with a specific objective of preventing crimes against women are less likely to be influenced by politicians. Police body cameras. These are very commonly used in US and UK. These must be made mandatory in India, especially when police respond to a crime, arrive at the crime scene and secure the crime scene. Every activity and interaction of the police must be recorded with no exception. Any police officer who fails to submit these recordings must not be spared with just a suspension or a transfer. This will surely make a big difference in eliminating the evidence tampering. Punishments that actually deter criminals. A criminal thinks about two things: probability of getting caught and punishment for the crime. I know many people argue against death penalty, but certainly such strict punishments will make criminals think a million times before even attempting any such thing. Punishment should be in such a way that even a drunk person should get alert before crossing any boundaries. This is exactly why Singapore is free of drugs and Saudi is safe for women. And now when it comes to the people who try to protect the criminals and manipulate the crime in any capacity, it could be a police, a doctor or a lawyer or anyone for that matter, they should be made equally liable for the crime and punished as such. That is only when we get to know how people like Sushant Singh Rajput or Pratyusha actually died. I just named a couple of them, but there are thousands. Let's fight for these changes in the system.